This is the Honda earpiece was in. This is the Honda news I have been waiting for years, guys. Finally, Honda is developing hybrids for their large platform vehicles. I have so much information for you guys today on the Honda end. If you're wondering where I'm at, I'm actually in Plano, Texas for a huge Toyota event, and I will be debuting the RAV4 for you guys. So just depending on when you're watching this, the new RAV4 may have been revealed. So guys, woke up this morning. Some of you guys were messaging me in my inbox, and so I have to make this content on something that I've been waiting for Honda to announce for years. Guys, let's get into it. If you guys have been wanting Honda to have large platform hybrids, hit the like button. And I cannot wait to share this news with you today. Make sure you subscribe as well, because I got so much content coming this week. So in the first paragraph, Honda essentially is saying that, hey, we still wouldn't be fully battery electric by 2040, but we are reworking our vision on how hybrids are going to help bridge the gap. All right. They're lowering their EV forecast in terms of volume, and they're increasing their hybrid forecast massively. So Honda said, hey, by 2030, we'll have 30% BEV penetration, fully battery electric, into their global lineup. And now they're like, wow, we don't know where it's going to be, but we know hybrids are going to play a bigger role. And speaking of these EVs, the whole plan to build a EV supply chain in Canada, multi-billion-dollar investment by Honda, it's currently on pause. It's being postponed due to tariffs. Anticipation of EV demand is not where it was. And heck, they're not the first automaker. General Motors just sold their BEV plant with LG. Now they have multiple plants with LG, but they sold one of them. How many times have we seen German automakers go back on their EV proposals too? I mean, Volvo as well. Honda will position its hybrids, mostly next-gen HEV models, to be introduced to the market in 2027 and onwards. Now, we will start getting a taste of these next-gen hybrids when the new Prelude launches, and that should be by the end of this year. But that's just on the smaller platform stuff, or should I say the global platform. They need a more robust and more powerful hybrid system for their large platform vehicles, which they are working on. And those will be coming in 2027 and beyond. Honda wants to increase total automobile sales volume to above the current 3.6 million units. All right. They've been kind of stuck there for a long time. They haven't even tried to increase sales volume, it seems like. They're kind of happy with where they're at. Now, on the motorcycle end, which this article also talks about, they say, hey, India is the big market. We really want to expand electric motorcycles down there. And they want to have half of the global motorcycle market, which they're already at 40%. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Honda could get to 50% motorcycle ownership of the market, if that makes sense. All right, so back to cars though. They're predicting 2.2 million hybrids as the core of their volume. All right, so here's the graph. This is a graph that's going to tell us a lot. This dotted line was their utopic, nice and linear adoption of EVs, what they thought it was going to be anyways. Okay, that was their forecast. It's, BEVs are just going to be widely adopted over time. And they're just going to have a continual increase, a linear increase of BEV demand and BEV sales. Well, that's not reality. The reality of the situation is the EV demand is about half of what we thought it was. Guys, look at this. So they're pushing up all this hybrid volume above this line, but it's not just there. They've also ballooned the hybrid expectations to the ICE end. So you can see by 2030, essentially all ICE cars are gone for Honda. I mean, guys, it's not that far away. I mean, Toyota, how many models, the Camry, the Sienna, potentially the new RAV4, stay tuned, are fully electrified. All right. So Honda is seeing a huge demand for their hybrids, from the Civic to the CRV. We wish we had it on the HRV. And the Accord is the only way I'd get the Accord for sure would be the hybrid. But you can see after 2030, it's when they're expecting sales volume to increase globally. And in 2030, they want to hit that 2.2 million hybrid unit sales volume. Now, Honda is developing the next generation ADAS or advanced driving assistant systems. I just call it assisted driving, or Honda's called it Honda Sensing in the past. Who knows what they'll call it in the future? But it's going to be on EV and hybrid models. In China, they're going to do their own thing. They're working with a startup, Momenta Global, for the ADAS over there, but they're doing it in-house for the United States and global markets. Requirements of the operation of next generation ADAS, they want to secure a certain level of power supply. It seems like they're going to need 200 watts to power this computer in here, the new Osmo AI computer. And they're going to need better cooling technology. And they're saying other OEMs install it just on EVs and PHEV models. But Honda's saying, hey, we're going to have elite level of ADAS on our hybrids as well. Now, next generation EHEV. All right, so I like how they use a sedan here. Whether it's a Civic or the Accord, I'm not quite sure. It looks kind of like the Accord. They will continue to use mostly serial operation, where the gasoline engine is going to run in the most efficient power band and RPMs to provide energy to the hybrid motors, the electric motors. So it's still driven, they say, mainly by motor, like they are now. But Honda's saying they're going to be 10% more efficient and still be fun to drive. All right. And we will probably see this absolutely. I'm not saying probably. We will see this first sampled in the new Prelude. Honda's also aiming to reduce the cost of its next-gen hybrid system by more than 50% compared to the hybrid system installed in models introduced in 2018, and more than 30% than the models that we have on the market now. Here's the big news. The big news right here in the North American market, which is the main battleground for Honda HEV models. There continues to be solid demand for large-sized vehicles with spacious interiors and high cargo capacity. Are you finally going to make the hybrid Odyssey that I want so badly? We'll see. In order to fulfill such demand in a sustainable manner, Honda will develop a hybrid system for large-sized vehicles which will feature powerful driving performance. My guess, if I'm just throwing it out there, I think it would be the 2-liter turbo hybrid system. So we'll see. I mean, they could do V6 hybrids. I highly doubt it. They did that in the past, especially on the Acura end. But you're going to have high performance, high towing capability. When I'm thinking high towing capability, what does that mean? No drop off? Is it going to exceed the V6 models? I'm not quite sure, but I would say it would match the V6 models at the very least, which is around 5,000 pounds of towing, something like that. And high environmental performance. So what does that mean? Good fuel efficiency and less emissions as a result of burning less fuel. So they're going to be launching it in the latter half of the 2020s. Honda will launch 13 next-gen hybrid models globally over a 4-year span starting in 2027 to build a broad lineup of hybrid models and capture growing hybrid demand in the market. Finally, the announcement we've been waiting eons for. It seems like it. Why? Well, everyone else, like their main competitors, from Hyundai to Kia to Toyota. While Nissan's still working on their e-Power. Maybe one day we'll see e-Power. And Honda's finally saying, okay, we misjudged. They're not saying it, but I'm saying it for them. They misjudged the market, put too much stock into BEVs, all right, and not enough into hybrids. And their hybrid sales for their smaller vehicles are great. They're really good hybrids. They're not the most efficient, but they're probably some of the most fun to drive. And I cannot wait for these new hybrids to come where they're going to be way better to drive. This large platform hybrid should, in my opinion, have at least 300 horsepower. Why? Well, it's got to pass the V6s. I think the V6s are around 270. Well, it depends. All right, 280, 285 horsepower, somewhere in there. It'd be nice if the hybrids were the range topper in terms of performance, acceleration, fuel efficiency, desirability, smoothness. I mean, Honda's hybrids still are arguably the smoothest on the market. I couldn't be more excited for this announcement. The problem is we still have to wait 2 to 3 more years to start seeing these large platform hybrids. But hey, at least they're working on them. I can stop beating a dead horse. Is it And here's the announcement that the Honda is reassessing its EV strategy and roadmap, introducing plans for the EV product lineup and the timing. It's really weirdly written here, but the timing of relevant investments, including one to build a comprehensive EV value chain in Canada. So how it sounds to me is that Honda is reassessing this BEV battery plant and the timing of it. When is it? Are they going to start doubling down and producing it soon? No, it's essentially it's like stasis. Nothing's moving forward as far as I'm aware. Now, I have been told that ground has been broken at some of these facilities, like in Canada, for not only where they build the cars, but Honda's also collaborating with some other manufacturers for batteries and materials for those batteries in Canada. Honda's also going to be using the new H mark logo that we saw in the 0 Series EVs. They're going to be using it on hybrids too when the next gen hybrids come out in 2027. Also here, if you guys are nerd out about production, you can watch my Marysville, Ohio coverage when I went to the new EV hub and how they're changing the assembly line there. And Honda's really focusing here is local production for local consumption. When I read this, it's telling me, well, they are going to be even more diving into that due to tariffs, because they make a lot of CR-Vs and Civics in Canada, but those vehicles might just be staying north of the border or shipping out of Canada to other countries instead of entering to the United States with those. It's crazy times we're living in. And down in Mexico, where they make the ADX as well as the HR-V, maybe they'll send less of those models to the United States. I'm not quite sure, but they really hammered home build products close to the customer. Well, obviously Canada and Mexico is very close to the United States, where we consume a ton of Honda vehicles. But they have this new flexible system that enables a swift transfer of production models between facilities. So if Honda does something really unexpected here. Now, Trump has been saying that Honda has said that this isn't official. It's still not official. There's no mention of it in any Honda press document. But Trump has said that the Civic was going to be built down in Mexico. Now it's going to be, they're going to be expanding production in Indiana for it, where it's currently built. But if they can have swift transfer of production models between facilities, that's a game changer. All right. That means they can flow with the market and flow with whatever government is deciding to be done with tariffs and automobiles. Okay, if they have that flexibility that they can quickly move the HR-V from Mexico to the United States, I would like to see it. The problem is they hardly have any production capacity available in the United States. They would have to be running third shifts overnight. They would have to build an extension to their plants as well in the United States. Some of them, I'm sure, are able to do that, but I'm not. I would love to hear more about this swift transfer of production models between facilities. Currently, the Accord is built in Marysville, Ohio, but it's supposed to be going to Indiana. We just don't know when. I think it's either this year or next. It's going to Indiana, where the Civic is made. Or should I say, I think the Civic hatchback is made. I think the Civic sedan is Canada. I forget which one's where. Anyways, this system will enable Honda to adjust the production allocation flexibly according to demand, also governmental demands, while maintaining a commitment to local production for local consumption. Honda will continue to strengthen its supply chains to be resilient to unexpected changes in the market. All right, here's the big paragraph and write-up about motorcycles. Follow my channel, Cryful Cycles, for motorcycle content. Now, I'm not going to get into the financial end. I tried reading it and I was just falling asleep, but I think there's one more slide I wanted to share with you guys. I found the slide I was looking for. It's on the video version of this press release with Mi Bei-san. So these new hybrids for Honda is going actually the Toyota route. And what I mean by that is that the rear wheels are no longer going to be powered by a drive shaft. They're going to be powered by an e-axle, small electric motor. And this outline, it looks kind of like a Rivian R1S. Is this the next generation Pilot we're looking at here? I don't know if I've seen this outline before. I think it's probably just placeholder, but maybe there's something to it. And over a 4-year span starting in 2027, Honda globally is launching 13 next gen hybrids. It didn't say it in the press release, but here in this slide on the video, that comprehensive EV value chain in Canada has been postponed by 2 years. They're reassessing the timing to introduce products for the EV lineup. I mean, that's 2 years from now. They could still revisit this in a year and a half from now and postpone it again. I hope not, but we'll see what happens. 0 Series EVs are still on track starting next year, early next year. I believe it's they're launching with the SUV here, and then we'll have the saloon or whatever they call it. And then I have not seen this model yet. We have not seen this. Okay, these are exactly the outlines of the cars I've presented here on the channel, the saloon and the SUV. This is something different altogether. It looks like it has the same A-pillar forward compared to the SUV, but the back end is very different. It's more of a sloping roof line. So I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but I don't think I've seen this side profile of a vehicle before. Well, I'm going to end it there, guys. I can get ready for the day. I'm going to be driving today at the track at Eagles Canyon, all the GR models, and doing some off-road with some Lexus and Toyota models as well. So I got like a full day ahead of me, and then tonight's the reveal of the RAV4. So stay tuned for all that coverage too. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more Honda and Toyota coverage, all that good stuff. You'll find it here on the channel. I'll try to update you guys on the daily. And there's so much other news going on right now, like Subaru increasing prices because of tariffs, Nissan closing more plants. It's quite intense, but we'll just stick to the basics for now. Catch you in the next one.